So hi everyone. So for now, we will gonna tackle about the essential elements of a portfolio. A comprehensive portfolio includes the following good elements. So first is the cover letter. These elements tells about the author of the portfolio and what the portfolio shows about the author's progress as a learner. It summarizes the evidence of the student's learning and progress. Second one, table of content. Shown in these elements are the detailed contents in the portfolio. Third, entries. Entries in the student portfolio can either be core or optional. Core entries are items the students have to include, while optional are entries of students' choice. The core elements provide a common base from which to make decisions on assessment. The optional items permit each student to represent his or her uniqueness. Dates. Specific dates have to be included for all entries to facilitate evidence of growth over time. Fifth, drafts. Drafts of oral, and written products and revised versions have to be included in the portfolio. And the last one is the reflections. It can appear in the different stages in the learning process. Through reflections, students can express their feelings regarding their progress and or themselves as learners. Questions that students have to consider in making reflections for each items in the portfolio follows. First, what did I learn from it? Second, what did I do well? Third, why did I choose this item? Fourth, what do I want to improve in the item? Fifth, how do I feel about my performance? And last one, what were the problem areas or difficulties encountered? Portfolios are collection of students' work over time. A portfolio often documents a student's best work and may include other types of process informations rather, such as drafts of the student's work, the student's self-assessment of the work, and the parent's assessment. Portfolio may be used for evaluations of the student's abilities and improvement.
Stages in implementing portfolio assessment. So we have 9 stages in implementing portfolio assessment. So first stage, we have identifying teaching goals to assess through portfolio. So it is very important at this stage to be very clear about what the teacher hopes to achieve in teaching. So these goals will guide the selection and assessment of students' work for the portfolio. So to do this, you need to ask yourself, so what do I want my students to learn? And choose several goals to focus on. So teachers have to know what are their goals in terms of what the students are able to do. Second stage, we have the introducing the idea of portfolio assessment to your class. So portfolio assessment is a new thing for many students who are used to traditional testing. So for this reason, it is important for the teacher to introduce the concept to the class. So teachers should explain to the class patiently what a portfolio is and what is the purpose of having it. So your students should realize that portfolio is simply a selection of their work that can showcase their progress in different learning areas. Make them know that portfolio is an assessment tool and explain the weight of the portfolio in their final grade. So stage 3, we have specification of portfolio content. So specify what and how much I have to be included in the portfolio. So both core and options. So why do you need to include options? Because this enables self-expression and independence. So you need to specify for each entry how it will be assessed. So for stage 3, there are many forms of portfolio entries. For example, written, audio, videos, recorded items, dialogues, or journals. So students should be aware of the scoring guidelines that will be used before performing the task. Next stage, we have giving clear and detailed guidelines for portfolio presentation. So there is a tendency for students to present as many evidence of learning as they can when left on their own. So the teacher must therefore set clear guidelines and detailed information on how the portfolios will be presented. So the presentation must be clear and attractive, dated draft, and attached reflections or comment cards is in need. Now for the stage 5, we have informing key school officials, parents, and other stakeholders. So do not attempt to use the portfolio assessment method without notifying your department head, dean, or principal. So this will serve as a precaution in case students will later complain about your new assessment procedure. Next stage, we have development of the portfolio. So support and encouragement are required by both teacher and students at this stage. So devote class time to student-teacher conferences, to practicing reflection and self-assessment, and to portfolio preparation. So you also need to give guiding feedback. Okay, so students can get this from a patient and understanding teacher. So teachers will get it by doing portfolio assessment as teamwork or a support group. So to practice self-assessment and reflection, so you need to again give guiding feedback and to ensure that the portfolio represents the student's own work. Okay, so for the stage 7, we have the assessing the portfolio and giving feedback. So assessing the portfolio is not difficult. Self and peer assessment can be used as a tool for formative evaluation. So in the process, students are able to internalize the criteria of quality work. Teachers' feedback is more than just a grade, and one way is by writing a letter about the portfolio, identifying its detailed strengths and weaknesses, and at the same time generating a profile of the student's ability. So still another option is by preparing certificates, commenting on the strengths and weaknesses of the portfolio, and suggesting future goals. For the next stage, we have holding student-teacher conferences. So teachers should have short individual meetings with each student wherein progress is discussed and the goals are set for future meetings. So teachers should really have to short individual meetings with each student. Student-teacher conferences play an important role in the formative evaluation of a student progress. So it can also be used in the summative evaluation when the student presents his final portfolio product together with his teacher's final grade. So for the last stage, we have the follow-up. So follow-up, it is when the portfolio are then presented to the students' parents.